Now, what is your go-to drink? Wine, gin, or maybe something a little softer? I'm often asked my thoughts on alcohol. There is a lot of conflicting information out there. Are there any health benefits to drinking it, or should we be steering well clear? Well, let's take a look first at what the science says. Overall, when it comes to our well-being, studies seem to come down in favour of drinking a small amount of alcohol to reduce our risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, possibly even type 2 diabetes. Some of the longest lived people living in parts of the world known as the blue zones will have a small glass, of locally made red wine with lunch or dinner every day. So maybe there is something in it. On the other hand, other studies have also linked alcohol with a reduced lifespan, with cancers related to alcohol as the top causes of death. Bearing in mind, though, that these studies included heavy drinkers. In short, the more we drink, the greater the risk of disease. There may be some benefit to small amounts of alcohol, but putting it bluntly, alcohol is a poison. Its main psychoactive ingredient is ethanol. That is the substance that gets us drunk. Ethanol also blurs the communication between brain cells. And when it comes to my own relationship with alcohol, this has definitely fluctuated over the years, and especially so during midlife. The amount we drink on a regular basis can really creep upwards over the years. This was certainly true for me. During lockdown, I'd find myself opening a bottle of wine increasingly earlier in the day. I'd frequently finish it too, even if I was alone. Not a good habit and not one I am proud of. But this really changed for me when I headed to a fasting clinic to give it a review. And that gave me a break and the space to take a really hard look at my nightly wine habit and consider if I really wanted to drink alcohol, well, at all. And I found that after a few days, I didn't actually miss it. Yeah, not at all. The thing I missed most was a cup of tea. So after leaving the clinic, I actually carried on with my abstinence for about 8 months, and I found it fairly easy. But not only that, enjoyable too, because there are so many more zero alcohol alternatives out there. Zero alcohol gin, for example. And I found that I was also drinking a lot more gut-friendly kombucha. Delicious. Serve it in a wine glass. Can pretend it's wine. And there were so many benefits too. I was sleeping better, my mental clarity just seemed so much sharper. There was none of the anxiety or hangxiety, as they call it, the following day, wondering if I'd said something I shouldn't, or maybe made a bit of a fool of myself. But that being said, I was also struck during this time just how much our culture is surrounded by alcohol, whether it's in TV shows, showing it positively, or on adverts. There really seems to be this idea that the only way to have a good time is for it to be fueled by alcohol. Pop the champagne cork, because we're celebrating. Well, today I enjoy the occasional drink when I'm out with friends, but I try never to drink alcohol when I'm alone, and I rarely have more than 1 or 2 glasses. So, what do I drink when I am drinking? Well, some types of alcohol are definitely better for us than others. I mentioned red wine earlier on in terms of longevity, and red wine tops the leaderboard as it's high in healthy antioxidants, including resveratrol, and this is a substance found mainly in grape skins. Resveratrol is a plant compound and it's designed to protect the plants from attacks, things like fungi, UV radiation, predatory bugs, bacteria, and it appears to exert a similar effect on our cells too. Resveratrol also shows promise as an anti-cancer supplement, switching on the cancer protective pathways and suppressing the expression of proteins that can stimulate cancer growth. Bottom line, however, you'd have to drink a lot of red wine to see considerable benefits of resveratrol, and then the potential harms of drinking alcohol would far outweigh it, obviously. So instead, what I do is I take a resveratrol supplement. Something else about red wine that may confer a benefit is that it contains anthocyanins, and these are the antioxidants that we find in colourful fruit and veg, especially the red stuff. So when it comes to choosing a red wine, consumers often come down to whether it's alcohol versus sugar levels. Okay, alcohol versus sugar. The main sugars in wine are glucose and fructose, and unfortunately the cheaper mass-produced wines have higher sugar levels as they're made generally on an industrial scale, and some wineries use tricks such as adding more sugar to disguise the taste of poor quality or even sour grapes. So no wine can be truly sugar-free, but there are increasing numbers of lower sugar options popping up on the shelves. The downside, though, to lower sugar wines is they tend to be higher in alcohol. So alcohol is listed on labels as a percentage of ABV, or alcohol by volume. And when I'm choosing a wine, I try to stick to 12% or less. Not always easy when it comes to my favourite, red Burgundy. So typically a dry red wine, such as Cabernet Sauvignon, is low. It's low in sugar with less than 2 grams per glass, but it's likely to be higher in alcohol, maybe between 13 and 16% alcohol. I also looked for the words organic or biodynamic on the label. These tend to be better quality wines from smaller producers who make their wine perhaps with a little bit more care, less reliance on chemical horticulture. And the good news is that you can increasingly find these in some of the lower cost supermarkets such as Lidl now too, where my great friend is the wine expert. So grapes are not washed before they're crushed, so any toxic pesticide or other residues on the grape skin will inevitably end up in the bottle, no matter what you're getting. And when it comes to spirits, well, I'll have tequila, please. Tequila is made from fermented agave juice, with high-end blue or silver or white tequilas typically coming from Mexico, where they're made with 100% fermented agave. So raw agave contains anti-inflammatory compounds and gut-friendly prebiotics. But of course, whether these end up in our margaritas is debatable. The good news, though, is that tequila is sugar-free, with one 42-gram shot of pure tequila giving us around 100 calories and 0 carbs, because it's low sugar or 0 sugar. Of course, when it comes to alcohol, if it's adversely affecting your life, or if you can't live without it, you may well have a problem with alcohol dependence or even alcoholism. And if this strikes a chord, I have included a few resources to reach out to for help in the video description below. Anyway, I hope this was generally helpful. For me, it really is a case of enjoy in moderation and with good food and, of course, good company. As ever, do let me know your thoughts on this. You can leave a comment below, and do make sure that you're subscribed to this channel to never miss an update from me and my team. Until the next time, go well, and I'll say cheers.